Unexpected symptoms like migraines, irritability, frequent hunger pangs, and severe menstrual cramps, along with a dozen other things all over my body, disappeared when I eliminated wheat. I had never suspected that a food might be the cause of so many of my problems, mental and physical. So this was a shock to me. But that was 12 years ago. Since then, I found I wasn't alone. In fact, it was the usual suspect. If you spent time in any number of chronic illness circles or groups for mental health or neurological issues, and even with autism parents, you're bound to have heard someone say, going gluten-free might help. So, is there something actually special about wheat? What does the science say? After my own personal miracle going gluten-free, for a short while I thought that it might be the key to many of our problems. But then my skeptical side took over, and I thought that the answer would be highly individual, and the culprit could be any allergen, that there wasn't anything inherently special about wheat, just for me, that happened to be the first key. So I didn't go about telling people about the gluten-free diet specifically. If I were to say simplistically that going gluten-free gave me my brain back, I was very concerned it would not be taken seriously. But as I set out to learn more about these things, I started to notice a pattern. The most common IBS triggers wheat, the most common migraine triggers wheat, and even the most common exercise or cofactor-induced allergy trigger is wheat, as I mentioned in my previous videos on these topics. So, was there something special about wheat after all? A reason why it's on the short list of suspects for every conceivable condition? It helps that it's the most studied by far, thanks to research on celiac disease. So what is it about wheat or gluten? What is the problem? Gluten is the seed storage protein in wheat and closely related grains, barley, and rye. It's unique in the sense that it's the one unusual protein that our bodies cannot fully digest. Our intestinal enzymes can dismantle any other peptide from food in 60 minutes, but gluten can resist that for as long as 20 hours. Fragments of gliadin, a component of gluten, causes strong immune reactions and inflammation. Another fragment kills cells, and still two others makes the intestine leak. In 2000, Alessio Fasano's team discovered zonulin, the protein that opens the tight junctions of the intestines, and found that gluten can activate its release. In most people, the openings squeeze back shut soon enough, but not for a certain percentage, causing immune system activation and inflammation. Fasano thinks our immune system mistakes gluten as a part of bacteria. This response happens in everyone, but most win the battle, while the genetically susceptible will develop gluten-related disorders. Gluten is also the one food protein we know is an autoimmune trigger, like celiac disease, but also the lesser-known dermatitis herpetiformis and gluten ataxia. Celiac disease itself is known in the medical community as the great imitator, because it is connected to so many symptoms in every part of the body, including the brain, or conversely, no symptoms at all. And then, non-celiac gluten sensitivity, which affects more people, can be indistinguishable from celiac disease from symptoms alone. Now, technically, non-celiac gluten sensitivity is a misnomer. Gluten is not the only component of wheat. Wheat is made up of hundreds of different proteins. Many of them can be problematic. Of these, amylase trypsin inhibitors, or ATI, are the only known food proteins so far to activate the innate immune system and might be the culprit behind many people with gluten sensitivity. For them, it's more accurate to say they have ATI sensitivity. Wheat is also more likely to fly under the radar in the world of allergies because it's more likely to not show up on tests and have atypical presentations or require cofactors for symptoms to show up, basically causing them to not be recognized or tested as an allergy when they actually are. So these people actually have a hidden or atypical wheat allergy, not gluten sensitivity. I'll go into more depth on both of these in my next video. So from the research on wheat or gluten-related disorders, gluten, ATI, and possibly other problematic components of wheat can open intestinal wall gaps, aggravate the innate immune system, which in turn wakes up the adaptive immune system, which starts generating antibodies to these components or even to self, depending on your genetic susceptibility, leading to allergies, both classic and atypical, and even autoimmune disease, which can affect every part of the body. And that's how a grain could cause various pain issues and even affect my brain. If you want to learn more about your immune system on allergies, I have a video here. So is there something special about wheat? Yes, as we have just seen, there are some genuine scientific reasons why wheat is special and always high up on the usual suspects list. Was I wrong to be skeptical? Maybe not. It's still possible that we just don't know as much about other allergens just yet, since after all, wheat is by far the best studied. So I would not entirely rule out the possibility of other allergens causing similar reactions. So gluten-free isn't the answer to everyone's problems, but since it is the best known, learning more about it will help us understand various forms of atypical allergies and shine some light on the mechanisms behind how foods can worsen various health issues and autoimmune diseases. And I'll be tackling this in my upcoming videos, so stay tuned.